But here's the thing, okay, is it's just like in Taekwondo, right? You walk into an unknown opponent. You know, one of the things that you're relying on is all of the training that you've done in the past and your ability to adapt in motion. And that's what I rely on a new project like the one over here. Is yes, I'm going to run into new things. Yes, I'm going to have problems, but I've been training for this. And so when I do happen to run into something that might be a surprise or is unknown, I'm able to roll with the punches, you know, and bob and weave, and still keep the project going. So I think that's you know, I think that's one of the things that makes, you know, our little company unique, you know, is the experience that we have and our ability to do that and the training that we have. So this is what I call, this right here is what I call a blotter board, okay? Because you've left your brush sitting in spirits, but not a lot of spirits. You got to use it again. You keep it fresh. Well, what the blotter board's for is to just have a place to get the excess out, you know, so it doesn't drip all over you, all over the client's floor, you know, that kind of thing. So that way it stays fresh. And then we'll also, later on, when it's time to clean, we'll also use this again for cleaning. I make these sanding blocks. You can see these, right? They got that shape there, that point. They got a little saw blade here, and they got the screw in there. You might not be able to tell just by looking at it, but I have sized this sanding block to hold exactly 1/2 of a sheet of sandpaper. Okay, and so what that means is that's to make it easy, right? So I've got my sandpaper here. This is 80 grit. Okay, see that? 80, and it's got that it's really coarse. This is 100, so this is actually more coarse than this stuff. Okay, so watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fold this in half, just like this. Okay, I'm going to create a crease in it, and I'm going to take it to the edge of the table. Okay, and I'm going to apply pressure and tear it on that crease. You have to have a corner. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a corner, then it's not going to tear. Okay, so but now that I've got a half of the sheet, I can begin to wrap this around. But you have to have a screwdriver to take your screw out. Okay, now I design these sanding blocks to have just a little itty bitty screw. Okay, it's a beautiful thing, right? Because it doesn't take up too much room. It's a very nice brass screw, and when it's a very nice brass screw, that tells you that this is very nice. All right. Okay, no, really, it communicates something. Now if you lose your brass screw, okay, and you're tempted to put a big old fat drywall screw in there that's gonna split your block in half, okay, and ruin your sanding block, come and see me. All right, because that means I haven't done a good enough job training you about why you want to use this screw. All right, and I will continue the training process. All right, but it's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And if you put a big old drywall screw in there, then you're missing the beauty of it. Anyway, but this, you have to have the proper size screw, and that's really the point. You know, it could be a different screw, but it has to be the proper size. You're gonna like, Steve, this is so obvious. All right, but all right, still got to show you. So what you do, you stick it in there. See that? Okay, that's called a saw kerf. Make that with a saw, and you start folding it around like that. Okay, and you find your creases. Okay, and once you find your creases, then you take it out, and then you really fold those creases. Okay, that. There we go. So this goes here. I'm going to put this back in here the other way now. Oh, see that? See how it folds real nice into that crease? I'm going to continue wrapping it around. Put this other side in there. See, since I folded it, it's already kind of trained to go in there, right? able to put it back in really nice. And then what you have to do, you have to feel with your finger where that screw hole goes. Make sure that that screw head is set just a little bit beneath the surface, okay? Because you could use this side also, right, in your sanding. But if your screw head's in the way, then it just becomes useless, right? I mean, you can decide when you want to reload it, but you're gonna know that the lifespan of your sanding block has been somewhat used up, and that's when you can come and put a fresh piece of sandpaper on there. That way, you can be productive. All right. I'm going to show you one more lesson about the sandpaper. Okay, and that's how to properly fold a piece of sandpaper to use just in your hand. Okay, so I've already got a half sheet of sandpaper here, so I'm going to fold this half sheet into another half. So this would really be a quarter of a sheet. See that? Okay, so you get 4 sizes out of one sheet like this. So I'm going to take the table, take the corner, and rip it again. Okay, so now I've got a quarter sheet, and now I'm going to fold it again. Okay, so I'm going to fold it in half one way, fold it in half the other way, so that you've got a nice plus sign in there. You see that? Okay, how that works? And then I'm going to take it back over to the table, and I'm going to tear it halfway here. Okay, why? Because I'm going to fold it a certain way to protect all of the faces of the sandpaper from going prematurely dull. Well, how does it go prematurely dull? When you fold it like this. Listen to the sound. Okay, what that means is that all these cutting edges, every time you rub them together, you're dulling them, and you're making it so that they don't work for you. All right, so what you want to do is you want to have a situation where this sandpaper surface is up against a paper surface, and this is how you achieve that. All right, so take it over to the table here. I'm going to tear it right there on just halfway through on my little creases that I made. Then I can fold it over like this. Okay, and then I'll fold it over like that, and look, see how that paper is now against my sanding surface? Same thing here. See that? And what that means is that I'm going to be able to use all 4 of my sanding surfaces here. Okay, I'll be able to use this entire sheet up. And I've got this side and that side, and when these 2 sides are used up, I can just unfold it and get the next 2. See how that works?